Hello guys, today's video I'll be explaining to you guys the basics of model in place in Revit. Model in place is basically modeling shapes and complex objects. But in today's video I'm just going to show you the basics of the model in place, so in modeling basic shapes on how these tools can be used. To begin model in place, you click on the architecture bar, then go to the components. Under this component you see a drop down icon, so click on the drop down icon and click on model in place. Okay, so basically you can use model in place to model walls, ceilings, and doors and floors, and even roof sef. But if you click on any of these parts, like any of whether door or floors or ceiling, those once you complete the model in place, the model in place will now have the properties of said item you picked. For example, if I pick walls now, if I create something using model in place under wall, to have the properties of a wall, like you can place doors there, you can place windows there. But for this video we'll be using casework to show you the basics. Okay, to always ask you to give it a name. This is casework 1. Okay, we are going to first start with extrusion. Extrusion, from the name, is basically drawing out a shape on a surface then extruding it. Once you click on model in place, you can also see the option to change the material, the depth. So in extrusion you have the option to edit the extrusion starts, that is the dimension of the starting point from the surface is starting from. For example, now is 0, so we are going to make it, let's say 3000, that is 3 meters, and draw a shape. So the plane now currently doesn't have a plane, so we are going to set a plane for the extrusion. Let's just use our natural ground level, that is NGO, to draw a plane, and let's just create a circle. So we have just created a circle using extrusion. So once you have used the model in place, you can now click finish model, provided you are done. But although you can still work on it and make this shape more complex and use a combination of tools in one model in place. Okay, now I'm now going to click on, let's just create a new one for this video, another one using another tool. This is another model in place. So now we have explained what extrusion is. Let's go to the next tool, blend. Okay, blend is similar to extrusion. The only difference between blend and extrusion is that in blend you have two planes. The first plane is blend is used for creating a profile which the two ends are not the same. Like for instance, if you create is this in this blend you have a first end and a second end, and there is a dimension between the first end and second end plane. So the first end plane is the first plane you draw the first shape. For example, in the first plane I want to draw a circle now. You get? Then I'm going to set the plane of the first plane. We are under the first plane, remember. So we're going to set it to NGO, and we're going to draw a circle in the first plane. Okay. So this second end is the dimension between the first and second end is too low. So let me just make it 6000. That is 6 meters. Okay. Then change the material. Let's add material to this step. Okay. Let me duplicate this material. This is how to add material to a model in place too. Duplicate and let's change it to my model in place. Sorry, let me go back again. So okay, I've duplicated the material and changed it to my model in place. To change this material and put a good material, I'm going to click on this icon here. Then go to, let's say, wall paint, and click on lining white now, and click on this two-way button to change the material. Then click on apply, click OK. So we have successfully created the first end plane shape for the blend. Then to create the second one and to complete it, we click on edit top base. So I'm now on the second plane. For example, if I click on show, I'm now on the second plane now. So I'm now going to edit it. So let's just use a hexagon. So have you seen? So basically, I created two profiles on two different planes. So what blend does is to blend those two shapes I just created together to create a form. So as you can see, this is the circle I drew on the first plane, and this is the hexagon I drew on the second plane. So that does it for blend, and we also change the material to my model in place. So also going back to this circle we created with extrusion, we can also change the material too by click on it, click on edit in place to edit it. If not, you can't change the material apart from through that edit in place um, space. So you click on it, go to this material, click on the three dots, then you see my model in place material we used earlier, and just click it and the material changes. Okay. So the next model in place tool we'll be using is, we'll open casework again, is the Revolve. Okay. So what is Revolve? Revolve means drawing a boundary line on a surface or even on a plane, then drawing a profile that will revolve around it. Like for example, if we want to create a donut now, you get, we are going to draw a boundary line. So once drawing a boundary line in Revit, you need to set the plane where the thing is. So we are going to set this plane at the DPC. The DPC, that is the DPC level of the building now. Okay, we're also going to, you can also edit the angle, the start angle. If you don't want it to be a complete revolve, you can increase the start angle to like 30 degrees. But you see the essence of this is very soon. Okay, so let's just change the material first to my model in place and draw the boundary line at the DPC. Okay, so we're now going to draw the axis line. Oh, sorry, we'll draw the axis line at the DPC. Axis, that is the axis where the revolve will come from. So this is the, I have drawn an axis line. We're now going to draw a boundary line. Okay, we have successfully created the axis line. So the axis line is where is like as indicated is an axis line. So we're now going to create, because we said we wanted to create a donut. So we're going to use the boundary line to draw our profile for a donut that will revolve around the axis. Okay. So you see. So this circle, the circle profile the circle boundary line we used has now revolved around that axis line we drew. Okay, so we can click on it. We can increase the start angle to 30 degrees. And you see that the thing has reduced. It started from 30 degrees to revolve around. We can increase it to 180 degrees to create an arc on it. See, we have successfully created an arc, and we can as well increase it back to 360. Oh, sorry, that is 0, meaning 360 degrees. Okay, so that is that done for Revolve. Let's go to another model in place too. Okay, to click on to create another model in place, we are going to be going next to sweep. Okay, okay, the sweep tool is one of my favorite tools, honestly, and is used for you draw a part. It involves you drawing a part or picking a part, then drawing a profile, a section, the section of a profile that you want to sweep through. That is, for example, now if I if from I want to draw a part now, I'll click on sketch part. I'll now set the plane I want to sketch it on. Okay, let's set the plane to one of our floor plans. Let's use DPC. Okay, so let's draw the part. So we're going to be drawing this, 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 and this. Okay, an interesting zigzag. Okay, so to once we finish drawing the profile, we click on finish, and we now select this edit profile. You don't do you have because you have only drawn the part you want to run, so you now want to edit the profile running through that part. We now edit it. So as you can see, this is your axis line. So this is the axis line in sweep normally picks from the first line, the first part you draw. So we're going to be using it as a reference to draw our shape. We want to sweep it. We want our shape that we want to sweep. So let's just use box. Let's use a box, and let's just draw some chops into the box. Okay, just to trim it, we are going to be using the split element first to break this line, so we can, because the sweep profile can only work with a closed loop. So we'll now use this to trim it, trim the lines, trim the profile. Let's make it smaller so it won't be too big. Okay, we have successfully created the sweep. So you see that the profile I drew actually went along the path I created. So we can still change the material the same way by clicking on material by category and change it to my model in place. And so that is done for sweep. Okay, so the next model in place too we are going to be using is the, okay, this one is interesting, the swept blend. Okay, as you know, as you can see the name is swept blend, is a combination of sweep and blend. You get? So in this one it involves you drawing a part like the way you draw it in sweep, but at the beginning and the end of this part it will give you the option to draw two profiles. You see what I mean? Okay, let's start by sketching parts and setting our parts to DPC. Okay, let's use a curved this. So we're going to be using this arc tool. Okay, so I've just drawn a gentle arc now. Okay, so as you can see two reference planes here. So these two reference planes represent the two profiles you are going to use in swept blend. You get. Okay, so I'll click on good, then click on edit profile, select profile 1 and edit profile. Okay, so this is our profile 1, so we are going to edit it. Let's draw a circle here. That's good, and click good. So we're now going to edit our select profile 2. Okay, this is now our profile 2 we're selecting. So we're now going to edit the profile, create a profile here. Okay, let's use a box. Okay, and click finish. Click finish. Okay, and now you have seen what you've just created. So you can see how versatile this model in place tools are. You can literally create anything depending on how wide your creativity can go. So edit the material of this and change it to my model in place material. Click finish. So and there you have it. So these are the 5 tools of the basic tools of model in place. Okay, and I also wanted to show you one last tool. Although the tool is also, it also applies to these 5 other tools, but I want to introduce you guys to void, like using void. You can use void extrusion, void sweeps, depending on how you want to use it. So we are going to I'm just going to show you a few examples now. For example, now I've clicked on edit. Note that before you use a void model in place tool, okay, before you use a void extrusion tool, you have to be editing an existing model in place family you have just created, or model in fix model you've created. So you click on edit in place. You now click on create. Let's use void forms. So under void forms, you can now see the same set of tools. You can use void extrusion, void blend, void revolve, void sweep, void swept blend. But now let's just use void extrusion. Okay, for in void extrusion now I now want to edit this cylinder. So I'm going to pick a plane this time. I'm not going to set a plane. I'll now pick under of the cylinder. So I want to just draw some shapes. Okay, so let me just change the depth to 200 first. So those shapes I just created actually cut a void into this existing model. So I can even make it deeper. I can make it up to 6,000 now. And you see the thing cuts through the hole. So that is void extrusion. So as we did in the previous model, we are going to edit in place this one. Then click on create. Then click on void forms. Then void sweep. Then I'm now going to click on pick path. So let's just pick here 2, 3. Okay. So we're going to get a good point for this one. Get a good angle. We're going to get a good one. Okay. So now we have picked a part for the void sweep. We're now going to draw our profile that will cut through this eye bar lookalike. Okay. So we're going to start here. Let me just quickly draw some profiles. just draw profiles and let me mirror the profiles up here. Okay, and then you have it. So we have successfully used the void sweep. Have you seen that we cut through this profile there by smoothing the edges? So you see how versatile these tools are. You can use it to literally create anything. You are just limited by your own creativity. So there you go, guys. These are just the basics of model in place. Although I won't really call this video basics, but I'm basically showing you all the tools. Okay guys, like our video, hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the notification bell to share with your friends. Thank you.